I call the Honourable Member Meka Waitere. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Tēnā tātou katoa e te whare e tūnei. Mr Speaker, it gives me great honour to take a short call on this very important bill, the Veterans Support Bill. And can I say there's nothing more humbling or creates a sense of pride than remembering our veterans that have served our great nation, not just on Anzac Day, but at times like this when we're supporting an important bill like this. Mr Speaker, my dad was 8 years old when World War II broke out and was 14 when World War II ended. Unlike his older brother and his uncle who joined the 28th Māori Battalion, my dad had to wait for the Korean War. So I just want to stand on my feet and acknowledge Member Melissa Lee for your moving speech, Melissa, and your recognition of our veterans that served in Korea. My dad served in there, so I take your words and say, kia ora, sister. But it's a serious issue that we have in front of us, Mr Speaker, and I was sharing the personal stories of finding myself in Rome in 2010, and my whole intent of travelling there was to do two things. One was to track down the carver of the Pani of the Reef statue in Carrara City, or go and visit my dad's brothers and his uncle and their grave sites. It's amazing that to me I needed to go to the grave sites. And so I journeyed up to the mid-eastern side of Italy, unbeknown to me that both my uncle and grand-uncle died on the 15th of December 1944 at the tender age of 22, passing away on the same day but buried in two different graves, Forlì and Faenza. And I want to acknowledge the 28th Māori Battalion website, because without that website I would have had no idea where to have located my uncles and my grand-uncles. Mr Speaker, into this House, it's one of the most moving occasions to walk on rows of young Kiwi soldiers who have done the ultimate sacrifice in giving of their life for freedom, for liberty and justice for all. And that was a sobering time in my time in Italy, but one I will remain with me, and coming back and sharing that story with my father, I know that he was very proud that somebody was able to go to the grave sites of his brother and his uncle, who he remembers fondly as a young boy growing up. But Mr Speaker, in terms of personal relationships, my dad was fortunate enough to travel back to Korea 50 years later after serving there for 2 and a bit years, and his sharing of his time there, as Melissa quite rightly shared with the House, Melissa Lee, is the remembrance of a very, very cold, harsh winter of Korea. My dad served as a gunner, and back in those days, and I'm glad this bill's addressing not just physical but psychological and environmental risks. But my dad suffered hearing. Sitting on gunners, he never had any ear protection. So I'm standing in his honour and his memory of something that, and for all the other veterans that suffered in their time in serving this great country, and join on this side of the House, Mr Speaker, in recommending that this bill goes to select committee, and look forward to the closer scrutiny that will require. Kia ora tātou.
Just to inform the House, this is a split call, and I call the Honourable Member Kennedy Graham.